much and enjoy.
So, hi everyone, it's great to be here. Thanks for joining us today. I'm a sales guy from ARRI, regional sales guy, and I'm taking the job of product management today. They cannot be here. The journalists, they have very important stuff to do, so I will try to make you enjoy the presentation. We will mainly speak about the auditor, but I thought it will be mainly students, so I just made my slides a bit different. So for that, you can anytime intervene and just tell me if you should just make it more practical. Yeah, you can just stop me and ask questions. Let's make it a dialogue. So I don't like just to speak and make a monologue out of it. So we can maybe start with the first slides. Slide change. So what's new? Everything. So it means we have a new, let's say, not a LAMP, but a technology platform. So what we do is actually since 2008, we have been just manufacturing, researching, and developing the lights, LED lights. So what we done here is actually this whole know-how is going inside into this lamp pad. So we changed all the structure. It looks like a camera style. So we make the whole housing similar to camera. We have in the front side, there's thin plates. You get this LED engine, LED engine, and also the whole electronics separated from the rest of it. So just the most important is in here. And we have the cooling system and a fan. So actually it is weatherproof. So the water can just come inside and then just blow away. So there is no issue. So very camera large house. So that's not a lamp pad, I tell, because it do not function without any accessories. So it's a technology platform. You just use the accessories to monitor different light characteristics. Yeah, that's the way. So we can just jump into the next slide, maybe. All right. So I don't know. You have a good memory. Can you remember everything? But yes, maybe it's just too much. If you can remember, you're a master of everything now. You just take it and start, working on sets. But I would like to just go back a bit. Just try to, start with actual history, where we are coming from, to these LED technologies and all the ecosystem. So actually, to me, known date is 1800s. What we have done actually to use, let's say, artificial illumination, we use gas lights. And of course, if you have a light, you need to just control it. So the first lighting console, what I know, installed in Philadelphia, 1816, was a theater. So next slide, please. 1820. So what we tried is we just spent a lot of energy to heat, or to crash with certain chemicals to just reach some brightness and to use it in our needs on our sets or anyway. So that's actually a first tries, which is combined with the reflectors just to increase the output of it, just to adapt it to our needs. Next slide, please. So 1880s, I mean, those are the modern, let's say, technologies, some of them still are using. Incandescent, as we know, tungsten lights, what is a workhorse on the sets, we're using it a lot, even still in broadcast studios and on the sets. The reason is, of course, not the efficiency, but the reason is price performance ratio. So your tungstens, you can use it, for quite a long time. You just need to change the bulbs, that's all. And they have very nice, very natural lighting sources. So that's why the optical people are loving it a lot. What we try to do with LEDs is mimicking this, or try to mimic as best as possible, just to create the natural light. So the arc lights are also quite in highly used because of the lumen per watt ratio, because the still has the best efficiency. We have some 60 to 100 lumens per watt if possible to get from the arc lights. And gas discharge lamps, actually those are a special case because in sales guy they have to do forecast. What I told is we can forget about tungsten lights. You can still keep arc lights, we will sell it. It was not a case. Incandescent lights are still in use because of this price performance ratio. The only thing is you burn your hands. It's just creating heat. So some 90%, maybe more, it's just creating heat. The rest is what we use on our sets as a light. But gas discharge, for example, fluorescence, it's not anymore in use. It's replaced. There was a transition, very fast transition. We do not say anymore fluorescence, right? You use it actually before, instead of sky panels, we created some banks, and we just eliminated, try to eliminate the soft target of lights. So next slide, please. So let's go back to our territory. 1918, the gentleman Arndt and Richter, they're our founders. They were really highly ambitious to make moons, but they couldn't find actually correct products at that time. They had really, they've been living in front of their, let's say, century. So they would like to have really high performance cameras and also lighting. So first they tried in 1918 with the lighting, exploring lighting options, what they can achieve, what they can need on the film set, just to create their ideas, realize it. Next slide, please. So that's the first actually lighting system what we have created. Actually, what you've seen on the left side, we have a faceted reflector, which is actually the mother product of our M series. Maybe you know it, maybe not. How many of you know M series? Okay. M series are the strongest and efficient arc lights, HMI sets. We are operating with the ballast, and it creates amazing, powerful light source. So we have the possibility from the Fresnel lens, for example, Fresnel lights, you can just flood the spot. At the same time, it was an open face optic. So you could use really nice hard shadows on that one. So this is actually the main idea, and we have actually patent of this reflector, which is just controlling the beam and throwing through the lamp housing. So it creates actually very nice lights. Before this technology, actually, they've been using some ARRI suns, open face, but you couldn't just plug and spot on it. You have to use just heavy, expensive lenses. So that's the advantage of this lens. Yeah. So at the right side, you see why they just created this one, because they took it to the film sets. They would like to shoot it, and they used incredibly equipped car. You had your actually energy and your lights. So you could just directly illuminate it, power it on, and use it on the film sets. Next slide, please. Anyway, does anyone work with this system already? From ARRI, 1924? Maybe you have seen it in museums. Okay. Let's jump to the LEDs. Why we need LEDs? Actually, it started quite early. Well, we just get to know it beginning of 2000s, but it has been just developing since 62. That's the date I know. Just the people are have started, to just try to understand when they, for example, send some current to semiconductors and just give some lights, right? So they try just different semiconductors to create different colors. So after that, 94 is the first actually big milestone, if you ask me, because it's the main, let's say, usable end product result, which we've seen actually in the television screens, and also the use for the multiple chip technology. Normally they created blue LED chips. They coated it with the yellow color. Just it shuts through the yellow color, you have a white light. So it means, it makes click. You can use it on the film sets. You can use it just in the studios because you need white light, right? And you don't want to use so many powers. You don't want to use your dimmers, serious stress, just very thick cables, and just costs. So the advantage of it is came just with this 94 development. So the people were selling a lot, and it just also kind of starting point for ARRI also. Next slide, please. So after this development, we have started with our first product. It came out in 2008, mostly not known because it was developed actually only for public TV in Berlin. We have used it behind of the from Gerrit's, I think, was that some curtain system. We illuminated it with the colors to create the, to just wash the cyclorama. So that was the main idea of it. You could just, it was modular. You could just edit on the frames, and you could just build, the width and length you need. And you have the full control. And it was the first try, let's say. So it's still in use and it's functioning. Yeah. So the next product is LED cluster series, which is as big as this one, like some 15 centimeters to 10. So it was the first, let's say, groundbreaking feature. You could dim it and you could just play with the CCT. So if you need, for example, different color temperature, you could just really play with it. And we have combined with the existing tungsten lights and fluorescents. Fluorescents are a bit greenish. So you could add, if you just had to put it into your ecosystem, you could just add a bit green just to adapt the light LEDs into the existing, let's say, main lighting system. Yeah. So afterwards, the first very intelligent light is S7 2011. I have been actually in installation base. We have used it for a really huge media center that it, Kazakhstan, Astana Media Center. It was, I think, more than 15 studios. And they use a mixed solution with L series. They put some, again, fluorescence and tungsten kernels, and they use also S series. So the advantage was actually for them just to, bringing down their costs, operational costs, like dimmers, like cables, like energy, bulbs, and maintenance. So since 2011, it was the first series from production. They've installed, and they're still in use, and they're still very happy. Means they cannot see any color shifts or problem in the lights. So it makes LEDs actually really important tool for us. If you would like to, if you calculate operation costs the following 5 to 10 years, LEDs are the best actually choices. Of course, the limitations in that time, it was not the efficiency there, lumen per watt efficiency. So if you have really huge studio, production studio, for example, they had some 4 or 5 out of it, and you had just some 20 meters ceiling height. So you had to just bring the ceiling artificially down in certain systems just to be able to use the S7, because the people were looking actually for around 1,000 lux, on the talents. So they've been just asking for more light output, which is not the case anymore because camera technology is developing a lot. So the new sensors are very, very sensitive. So you can even in candlelight have a good shots. Yeah. So we just developed it in different sizes. L7 is comparable to 1K tungsten light, and the L5 is 5-inch, it's like 650, and then 2K. Afterwards, we have just developed the soft lights, which is also quite mostly used on the sets because of the cameras are getting sensitive. You work with the hard lights, it's quite difficult to play with the shadows. The people, they would like to make their lives easier, so they just put mainly soft lights. They just put sometimes intensifiers on it just to bring the beam angle a bit narrower. And for high shadows, if they are looking for soft lights, they just use some fabrics like these, yeah, soft boxes, and they mainly made a transition. I mean, if you compare, according to my experience since 11 years, I have seen the transition from it was before actually 60 to 70% hard lights was used in the sets and broadcasting, and just 20-30% maybe a soft light. So it's just changed, went just into opposite way. Because they had better results with the soft lights, it was easy to control, and it was quite nice look. It was wrapping the face of the talent. It was looking nice. We had the HD transmission, they looked better results. That's just. So the same thing we bought actually a 30 and 60 middle size, a 720, mainly used for B2 shootings actually, because of the vertical side. We developed the remote control system, which gives you opportunities actually just to separate, for example, the control unit, just take it out. If you, for example, put your lighting into tripods, you go just up to 3-4 meters. You just would like to control the lights. So that's why we developed actually this controller with a very easy understandable user interface. So you can just do anything what you want from the manually on the iPad. You can just take it out and take your control. Yeah. And then we develop, of course, for the ones who is technical nerd, they would like to. They don't want to see actually cables. They just would like to use their phones or tablets and still would like to communicate with iPads. So we developed actually an ecosystem with control units, which is Skylink. It's a kind of router, from the internet from home. And you just put some transceiver in the in slot so that they can communicate. Because we use actually for wireless communication, human radio protocols. Wi-Fi is not so secure for our German product managers because not very stable. Because we are using it on phones and we have a lot of different technologies the same bandwidth. So it was quite full if you're just trying to just make it completely wireless. So it was a lot of disturbance from outside. So you couldn't send the signal at the correct time. It was a delay. So that's why we thought, okay, let's make it definitely with a cable. And if then, for the ones who would like to use wirelessly, we just thought, make it wired from laptop to the router, what we developed here. And from router, you can just, sign in your phone with our cables to control lights. So for the purpose, we developed also Stellar. Stellar is actually the app. It's functioning like a lighting console, and it gives you all the possibilities what you do actually on the lampad. You can just make it in your phone. You download it. It functions for Apple devices or Android also. So next slide, please.
One question.
Yes, please.
How many pictures does Skylink support simultaneously?
Well, actually, it is unlimited. It is not limited. It's just limited to the signal strength. Normally, if you daisy chain, for example, you have just possibility to make 32 devices afterwards. You don't have any more signals.
But you have to daisy chain, or you can do it all while.
You can do it separately. If you have this transceiver and you put in each and every lampad scale it's in, so it means your app will recognize a different, let's say, lampad.
Yeah.
So you can just really separately control it. Or you can just use one transceiver, you can daisy chain, and you control the block of the, let's say, seed.
Do you have the option to stop patch and unpatch the picture? For example, I have 10 orbiters, and I want to use them together. But then I have another scene, and I want to use only 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay. So is this software changeable, or do I have to undaisy chain or do something?
So if you would like to use the other three separately, you need definitely a separate signal entrance. So then you can actually choose in multiple lampad option. You can just say this is my first group. It's consisting of 7, and the other 3 is a different group. So you will just see 2 different groups, and you will actually operate, send 2 different signals, and operate them differently. But for this purpose, you need to separate the signals, because if you use just master slave, or they call it now host and client, the word is not anymore allowed to use, now master slave, host and client. Actually, it will repeat what you just changed in the first lampad.
But I can always use the image.
You can always use the image. We have the image. That's not an issue, actually. Well, we also have different stuff. I can tell you, it's quite interesting. Maybe I've seen it more often in broadcast studios. For example, they don't want to use the MX because the operators are, not anymore would like to have the MX complexity. And you cannot find a lot of people who's working. I mean, it's a technology change, They would like to go over IP. Most of the studios, mainly small size, they use IP technology. So actually in Orbiter and also in Sky panels, you can go directly from a lighting console with RJ45 with Ethernet, and they have inside the nodes. So you can just go, for example, directly with your network cable into first ARRI LED, and then the others you can just use for daisy chaining DMX cables.
Yeah, are you using ARPANET protocol? Or
Yes, we have ARPANET, SACN and ARPANET, and TCP/IP. All of them are possible. Well, this is some new. I should say it's not obstacle. It's mainly the new people who are sitting in these positions, and they would like to use the possibilities to troubleshooting, for example, because the mix cables they have certain restrictions. We have just one universe, which is 512 DMX channels, and if you use such complicated lampads, it's not easy to cover with just one universe everything. So it makes necessity, let's say, to make a network. Then you should have nodes, you should have splitters, which we put repeater, and it makes just everything in your ecosystem a bit more complicated. So that's why they say, okay, I will just, have my lighting console. I will just go directly from lighting console. They work mostly with RJ45 Ethernet. They just use ArcNet. Directly go into the slot, ArcNet slot, and then they use it, lampad as a splitter. And then rest of it, if they wish, they use DMX cables. So,
how many channels does it explain?
wow, we have more than 20 different DMX modes. The
Yeah, let's take
minimum is you need 5 channels. You need, let's say, very simple CCT, just white light. But then you have dimming, on and off. You have green magenta correction, and you have, of course, CCT that is fungible. So it makes 5, and also you control the fan. It means in the easiest way, you need 5 DMX channels. But normally they would like to use CCT and HSI. So you're just adding a lot of more channels to it because you would like to have sometimes, colors, or you would like to put in front of your CCT value some gels. So that's also quite common, because your talents have different skin colors maybe. You would like to, let's say, achieve what the OP wants, on the face of your talent. Or you would like to just wash, I don't know, some eco. So you have to use certain DMX modes where you have the flexibility. It means you're using, for this kind of lampads, at least 10, 15 channels for one lampad.
Not okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 8-bit. If it's 16-bit, then you have to just multiply it with,
Yeah, it's okay.
2, If you would like
Again, it's not too much. I mean,
yeah, it's okay.
Right?
It's not like a movie hat, like 100 channels we need, but still, I mean, we had some troubles, for example. With broadcasters that they don't want to see so many DMX channels. That's too much because they have at least 40, 50 lampads. If each of them just covers 10 DMX channel, they need a network. They cannot work easily with one cable. So there was actually, let's say, a negative feedback what we get. But in the new operating system, we are bringing a very simple DMX channel. So DMX mode, let's say, where you have just 3 DMX channels that you can control really easy and with minimum, let's say, damage channels.
First year students level.
Well, actually, broadcasters are looking for that. They would like to work easy because they don't want to have mistakes. They just have certain cues. They just plan everything, the setups, and they would like to see. I mean, mostly what they do is white light, mostly 6,000 Kelvin because they have LED balls. They're also illuminating at around 6,300 Kelvin. They would like to have the match for white point of camera, and then they just dim a bit, and maybe they just make some remarginal correction. That's all. So 3 channels they that's all. That's why it was too complicated for a lot of people, and we had some negative feedback because of this reason. My boss told me that we have not so many times. Any questions? Let's jump and skip everything very fast. Next slide, please. We should also speak a bit about Orbiter. I told you Orbiter is not a lampad. For me, I'm an engineer, by the way. I'm not coming from sets. So I see it as a technology, let's say, platform for me. So you have actually your 3 aspects. Orbiter is about 3 milestones. First one is actually the QLM, is the quick lighting mount. It means we have certain type of the sockets for all of the different, let's say, accessories. So you can just put it out very easily. So this is actually standard what we use. It makes your life easier, the first thing. The second thing is we have LIOS, lighting operating system. It's on a completely different level. It is much smarter, much easier, and we have much more parameters to change. So that's the thing. And the other one is actually, we're speaking about the LED engine. So that's what we call Spectra. It's completely new stuff because we had RGB white technology before in our lampads. Like I've shown you, just the LCU is the Fresnel LEDs and the soft lights. We had always 4 LED chips. It means RGB white. So we just used this technology. At that time in 2011, it was the only company who was producing these color and white lights. And we had a really wide gamut achieved with mixing all the colors, because if you use only white, cold white and warm white, that's definitely not enough for the cameras. So you will definitely see a really bad, most important skin tone is red. We didn't have the saturated colors, and it was missing, So that's why we used, since the beginning, actually the most expensive system. We developed the algorithm of it. If you make a white, for example, with 4 different colors, actually RGB is working together with the white. It means you are really feeling all the background colors in it. It gives you really natural color reproduction. That was the reason of it. So in Orbiter, we use 6 colors. We don't have any more white. The reason is actually we would like to achieve actually what you use most, Rec 2020, I would believe. We can achieve with the 6 color engine more than 90% of Rec 2020. It's a huge, actually forms a huge technology jump. So it means actually you're giving your camera almost not more than 90% colors, but it means what it can perform and show. So that makes a difference in the screens, that makes a difference in your 4K television, which is not quite cheap, almost everybody has it. So you have a different experience with the movies. You have much more, let's say, gray tones, you have much more saturated colors, and you have the feeling that, you're just sitting in the scene and you're just there, So it can give the consumers much better experience. So that's the reason why we choose actually RGB. Additionally, cyan, amber, and light. There was a complementing, let's say, LED engine. Next slide, please. We're just skipping it quite fast. Let's go next one, please. We will just go into details. So we have different accessories. I told you it's just technology platform. You need to use actually the accessories to make a different lighting characteristic. We have open face. What we have here, we can just put it in, and we'll see the difference. This soft light application. What you see here, create definitely the similar light characteristic what you have from the soft light spectrum. So let's change it. Right. So I hope it will take a second, just a minute. So from the soft light, immediately you have hard lights. So we have, it's a fixed beam angle. We have two different versions of it. This one is the 15 degrees beam angle. You have the 60 degrees, which is mostly used. Is the, let's say, full spot, normally used, in sets. 15 degrees, you have off spot 30 degrees, and then you have 60 degrees, which is used mostly actually on the faces I've seen. They're like taste gives. And as I told you, it's just about the variety of accessories, because by changing these accessories, you're just creating different look. So the main reason of the orbiter is actually variance flexibility. So you have just one technology actually, and you're using the same, let's say, LED engine, you're using the same user interface for controlling, but you have the same, you have different, let's say, outputs. You have different characteristics. It means you have just orbiter, you're creating hard lights, as key and fill, and you're using backlights maybe also with orbiter, and you can just also use for the room very nice soft nuances. You can just edit. So we have the open faces I've shown you. We have soft boxes like we had before. We have the dome we will show you in the next slides. The projections are coming. We have to play the fixed and variable beam angles, like from ETC. We're famous with 2550s, 1530s. You can just zoom in and out, and you can use everything actually while using an adapter for projections. It's a lens here, and you're just putting actually the same accessory slot here, and you can add already existing projections, because we're bringing it a bit late. So, and red glass is on already this kind of tubes. So with this accessory, you can actually just put it on, and you can use existing portfolio what you have. For BTC from Koema. They also have similar or standard more or less barrels, except of the third series, what ETC brought. It has a bit smaller, I think, barrel, so it's not fit. But all the tungsten HMIs and the LED chips, it will fit into this application. And one more thing is Fresnel. Of course, we use Fresnels. Most of people are not happy with the open face. They are looking for nice, soft, let's say, nuances, which you can only catch with Fresnel lens. Let's jump to the next slide, please. So this is how it functions. Actually, it takes a lot of time to develop a product in ARRI. So that, what you see, we also have in research and development, is still not here. So we're pushing our product managers a lot, but they're testing. I have seen actually the demo unit was performing quite well. The reason is we have superior lenses. It's quite expensive. Normally, this lens is what we use using cameras, lenses, let's say film cameras, what they use. So those are made in our partners actually with our specification from Japan, and they are actually too expensive to use in lights. Yeah. So if we can show in next occasion the projection, you'll understand the difference, because it's performing quite in light output, I mean, quite strong, but you have really nice circle light, very precise, and you don't have this donut effect. And it is really incredible, because you can also add not only sensitivity but colors and effects on it, which makes maybe very attractive for live entertainment theaters, I believe. So next slide, please. This is how it functions with your existing stuff. As I told you, the all tubes which red glasses owns actually will fit. You have the SICK from ETC. You have the projection types, the fixed ones or zoomables. They're also the same barrel. They will fit into it. If you have it, you can just immediately start working with it. You don't need to wait for ARRI to develop next 10 years this stuff, but I hope it will come next year. So let's jump in the next slide, please. All right, so we don't have actually the lenses here, so it just shows you how you operate with it. You can just put first the docking ring on it, and then your tube, or you just preset it, and then you're putting it onto everything. So next slide, please. Okay, I've just chosen my favorite accessories. This is Bagel Light, and it is I have seen it with one friend of mine, Gaffer. He's using the TV serial. It was a long table, and they were sitting eating something, and they were looking actually for simple application. Normally, you should do actually your own softbox, mainly with fabric, but with this application, they could just eliminate it very nicely. So it's actually fitting exactly into certain application. That's why I chose it. I would like to show it to you. You're just putting some air in it, and then it has a reflector additionally inside, and you have very smooth and very even light output here. So next one, please. This is the Fresnel, what we have. We have already in the markets. It's actually you can order. So we developed it as the, let's say, the most important product, because orbiters, when the people see it, they just emphasize like a hard light. They would just use it as a, I don't know, Fresnels, and they would like to replace certain stuff. I mean, with these applications, you can definitely replace some 2Ks, for example. If you just are also looking for different CCTs, you would just jump into this technology. So the Fresnels, the next one, please. We go into details a bit. In the Fresnels, we have possibility in the flat, 5 more degrees. It's a huge but very light one, around maybe less than 2 kilograms. So you can just go really wide in the flat, 65 degrees, which is not known to me in other products. So, and 15 degrees is standard just for spot. And you can use the existing accessories, you know, it's just same size, almost 11-inch, like 5K products. You can use the barn doors and just accessories what's used for it. So we can go to the next one, please. So you have actually in the Fresnel itself an LED status lamp, and you see exactly where you are. It's a motorized zooming, and you can really finely adjust it, and you can have the feedback on it. I mean, green lamp is, it means actually everything's fine. It's sending signals and it's functional. If it's red or yellow, it will just tell you the system, tell you that something is wrong. So you can just take a look into it. One more thing is actually what we have here. I can just show it to you. That's quite important for me, because you're sending light from the cameras to metadata. We have these things here. If you put, for example, different accessories, the lamp pad and the operating system is actually recognizing the different accessories. If you have, for example, as the latest, you have your 5600 Kelvin, and you have put just some, I don't know, from Rossler, some gels. If you change it to the from hard to soft box, the system will keep the same light output and the same lighting characteristics. It means it's calculating, it's recognizing the software is recognizing the change of the accessories, but it will give you the same color or same setup what we have. So that's something possible for us. Even you can see it in your system, your computer, because we're sending it from this metadata, from the pins. Later on, motor induction, maybe it's important. Or if you use maybe motorized webs, you can even see from this metadata actually not only lighting setup, but also the position of it. Those sensors, we will see it in the next slides. Let's go to the LED engine. We can go on. So I've spoken already about it. This is called LED engine. We can go on. The next slide. That's how it works. Anyway, it's just as big as a €2 coin. Yeah. So let's go. It's quite expensive for €2 coin LED engine. I know. Just one example. Actually, it's the orbiter's LED engine. That is the technology we have. And the outer circle is a 10-inch LED Fresnel from our products. It's the biggest one we have. And you can just compare the difference in the LED engine, how we make it in a consolidated way. Actually, orbiter is stronger in light output than L10. So that's also quite a challenge for us, for engineering at least, not for sales guy, but just to bring, this technology and this small size. Because normally the best experiences we make in our tests, we have a punctual light, and you take it, you reflect it, and you use it according to your needs. That's the best actually approach. If you have big surface, actually it's a different taste. It's very soft and it can be used only as a soft light. Yeah, and so that's the technology, that's the engineering what we have. You have a much stronger lampet than a lantern, and it is almost 80 times smaller than normally 400-watt LED engine. The next slide, please. So we can go on. Black body curve, everybody knows that from students, I'm sure. So Rec 2020, that's actually what I've seen in cameras, what you use mostly, not 709 anymore. Can go the next slide, and you will see the coverage of the LED engine, what we have. That's the coverage. So we go, actually, as I told you, more than 90%. We have the color reproduction. If we speak about the metrics we have for CRI, which is used mostly in broadcast televisions, they just use this index to see whether the lampet is high technology or not. CRI value is 99, you know, and CRI is like a human eye. You can just compare it. It's very similar, you know, approach. And there's a TSCI. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a bit more saturated colors. It's a big gamut, bigger gamut. And in TSCI index, we have actually also more than 90. We have achieved, which is quite nice. And the last thing is actually TM3050. It's like a, let's say, the most modern film cameras. So we have also over 90 light quality. Yeah. So let's put it in. My boss told me that we should make some lights. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Just as screenshots from the certain scenes with the orbiter. You can see, hopefully, the color reproduction is very natural. You can see also the skin tones in the next one. You have a colored person. I think that is natural. It's very close to natural lighting source, like sun or candle. So you can really have a chill with it. I think it's shot with 60 degrees open face, I think. It's wrapping still the face like a Fresnel, very Fresnel-like for me, effect, like shadows, and you have the perfect skin tones. So that is what we are proud of. I mean, our, let's say, main goal of the products is to be as close as possible to the natural lighting sources. So lighting quality is very important for us and versatility. That's why we create this light. It's all about technologies. So you can just jump. The next one. So that's just demonstrates how powerful it is. Normally you would see an HMI, very strong lampet, which is quite expensive actually and needs a lot of energy. So you can use in the application actually, you know, as a sun, you know, mimicking the sun actually. So that's a different application what you can use orbiter. So let's jump. It's 20,000 lumens, by the way. You can achieve with this application almost 20,000 lumens. So that's the user interface, what we have actually, what I told you before. You have very easy and understandable user interface. You see the 8 modes. You go most probably what you're looking for. This is the white range. Because of 6 colors, you have possibility to go from 2000 Kelvin to 20,000 Kelvin, which is crazy. I don't know whether someone would use that, but it is possible in this device. The HSI, you have your colors. In the color wheel, you can just go anywhere, and you can choose the correct color. But you know, from sky panels, you can just saturate it fully, or just you take the color out and you're just tinting it a bit. So depending on the, let's say, color you're looking for. RGB white is wrong application direction. RGB ACL, an orbiter. You can actually use each and every LED chip alone. So you have the control possibilities actually to control everything separately. For example, I can just go to red. I can just play with the reds. I can just go to any colors I wish to use. I just go to amber, for example, or let's make some blue. And you're controlling everything separately. What's interesting is actually some let's say lighting nerds, they would like to play and create their own colors. all tones. So that's the reason why we created this one. And the next one is gel selection, actually from sky panels. What is special here is we have more than 200 more gels from Roscoe and Lee in the memory, because of the processor is actually 4 times faster than sky panel, and we have more than 100, I think, 100 times more memory to compare with sky panels. So you can have your favorite looks, and you can just save it, and then you can recall it at any time. Yeah. So the lighting effects you also know. If you wish, we can just create something for you. For example, candles doesn't look very good actually on Facebook. You can just play with the speed of it, for example. You can change the CCT. Let's change the speed first of all. Let's make it fast. We can play with the CCT range. You change between 2000 and 2300, or if you would like to have it just more warmer, you can just turn it back to 1400 and 2000 Kelvin. And you can, of course, play with intensity anytime. So that are the possibilities what we have in the system, in the modes. And additionally, we equipped actually orbiter with sensors. The sensors are helping us actually, what I told before with metadata, sense the position of the lantern, pan, tilt, and rotation even. So it means if you're using, let's say in theaters, it's very commonly used, motorized yachts. So you would like to see or maybe simulate where your lantern is, you simulate your scene, and you can just have all the metadata in your system, in your computer. Let's go to the next one, please. So we can jump it. We told about it. Let's go next one. That's the favorites actually, what you can do. You can even program it at home. In your computer, you can just upload the USB stick. You have those slots here. And you can actually find anything what you want. You can preset, even it's valid for the effects. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. That's the operational mode. It gives you possibilities actually to operate it in the most efficient way. If you're looking for more light output, if you use in the first one and second one, high output mode, you have 20% more light output. If you use in the high color rendering mode, you have more possibilities to create in color production. So it makes a bit difference if you use, and mostly if you have sound sensitive scene, you can just go to low noise mode and you really do not hear anything. And it's actually perfect balance between light output and still you have your perfect color quality. So let's jump in the next slide. Those are everything for the nerds. You don't care about it. So you can just play with everything what you need. ArcNet, SACN, pre-setups you can do. And let's go to the next one. Okay, let's go to the LIOS. Next one, please. Yeah, we can jump everything fast. Oh, okay, that's a nice view. I mean, we have developing, as you know, our datas. Even what we produced in 2011 and 7, receiving some bug fixes still. You just get from the clients, for example, who's using it, tell us, I have better experience with certain application in the DMX mode. Please take a look at it. So our engineers, software developers actually take a look at it, and they bring new updates, which is free. You can just, recall it from our web page, you can download it, or you can just, use USB cables, just plug it in, and you can download the new firmware, which gives you better experience, So that's the what we developed actually. It's the newest update, what we brought actually for Orbiter. So you have different options, what you're asked for from certain buffers. I told you about the optics. Okay, just it's a really huge milestone if you ask me, because as you know, by changing any parameters, you will immediately have different output in the characteristics and in the light output, in luminance. So with this adjustment, actually the software is calculating everything. It understands what accessory you use, soft or hard, or different fabrics, and it will create the same parameters what you are looking for. So there is no change at all. That's the important one. Sync mode is important for still photographers, I found. So we have the possibility actually to connect our orbiter with cameras. So we can just adapt to the frames, can adapt when it should be just at which level it should be illuminated, so it will get the signals and will work in sync with the cameras. That's an important mode. Q mode gives you actually programming with the lighting different modes. So you can just, for example, preset certain cues, or you can just let it play in a certain time slot. You're programming it. That's even possible in the Lyos 2, which is available right now. You have additional languages. I think not Macedonian language yet, but I can just put my words for it. Additional gels you have, I've just told you more than 200 gels additional you have, and the support for new accessories. So let's jump to the next one. The sensors I've told you, we have sensors like you know from the sky panels. And if you ask me, I'm an engineer, I've seen not that LED chips, but LED chips you can just really destroy. They will still illuminate something, but you will lose all the quality. What we try to do is actually we put on important places heat sensors, which gives us possibility to keep the LED engine in a certain temperature. This is the most important thing, because we give guarantee for 50,000 hours, that color shift, or maximum 100 Kelvin shift plus and minus, which we haven't seen yet. So that's why it's the most important thing for LED chips. You have to be careful. I mean, the heat is the biggest enemy of the LED chips. Otherwise, you cannot kill it to function differently. So you have the 3-axis I told you to give position of the lamp pad. So magnetometer will give you metadata about where the orbit is pointing if you simulate something to give you the information. And ambient light sensor is not important. Color sensor you have, it's a different color mode. For example, if you just use it, it will measure ambient color temperature. It will be created. So that's also something quite fancy. I would say maybe it's important in a sense if you would like to use. So let's jump in the next slide. You have to finish it. You don't want to wait so and to wait for us. So that's the advantage what we have. We have 400 watt approximately power, and you can operate it with a 3-pin XLR with 48 volt DC. So that's the one more advantage why you should use actually LED lights on your sets. It's like a joker, you know, you can just take it if you don't have generator or it's not working, it's full, and then you just take your power station and you're operated. So let's jump in the next level. Next slide. I told you the design. Actually, it is very cool, and there is no issues if the water is coming here. It's just passive cooling. We made the camera design in the housing, and everything is sitting here separated from the rest. Passive cooling, active cooling, and the fans. So only thing what you should be careful is actually we have a lot of slots, as you see. So those are the issues. I mean, for this reason, if you can close it, you can use it on the rain. In any condition, that's not an issue at all. I mean, the light is very robust against humidity and water, but we have created just to block this side, the back part, with a rain cover. So you need to just close all the slots here, sockets here, then you're good to go. There's no issue. So next one, please.
What's the IP?
IP, yeah, it's a good question actually. IP20, they say, or PMs, because they take it very seriously. If you ask me, it's something 64, 65, because if you just close it, if there is no water coming into this one, there is nothing to destroy. But the problem is, of course, they're testing maybe too much, I don't know. And they give, for example, accreditation on PMs only for IP24, yeah, which I don't understand. Normally, maybe they are testing, the others are testing differently. But the test, what we do is actually simulating different situations. Not only rain coming from a certain speed, with certain, you know, how do you call it, water volume, but rain is coming from everywhere. It can just, you know, flow and go into a certain. So that's why we're telling use rain cover before. But I've never seen any problems from the sets if they use the rain cover backside. If they're closing it, if they're using each and every application, because you cannot destroy anything here that is blocked completely in the housing. But officially IP24.
And that's proof for what the
24 means 2 is the dust.
2 is the dust,
yeah.
yes, 4 is the water. So if 2 is low, What the
Well,
best
actually, dust can be a problem if you just can't clean it because they have the fan. So that can be an issue. Absolutely, that can be an issue. Because if you're working outside on field, it's a lot of sand, um, the fan is just taking the fresh air in to also, you know, take the sand with it. So maybe it's better to clean it. I don't think it's dangerous from that engine because it's not coming to the wet engine here, it's blocked, but it will come into the soft cooling, into the passive cooling system, the metal bases, and at the backside it will maybe block a bit the fan. That's highly possible, yeah. Maybe then we should clean it, I don't know, once per year, depending on the productions we have. I would say that's an important point. Yes. For the applications, we will just go quite fast because we are just out of time. Let's jump. The next slide is, as I told you, just you have one ecosystem, one technology, different applications. You have open phase, you have salt and hard lights. You can create your scene. Next, please. So it's a production studio. What we have here in the broadcasting media, we use, of course, some softboxes instead of soft lights. And you can really use the Fresnels, of course, unless you put the key light. In the theaters, we have the projections. I told you, I think, the most powerful light. What is in this application? Let's jump next one. See photography because of the scene function. It's quite important. And the colors and the jazz, of course. That's all finished. Perfect. Just 3 minutes for Q&A. Maybe if you have questions, we can just go through quite fast.
We have to take everything away